You've seen Bill's Banana Hammock. You've seen Back Alley Kitty. Are we going to complete the sex trilogy tonight? Tune in to find out.
Huzzah!
Welcome to Fast Five number 23, in the podcast where bad beer names become even worse movie ideas. I'm John.
And I'm Harrison. This is Beer Me That Movie, where we turn Untappd check-ins into cinematic masterpieces, or something that kind of resembles a movie.
Speaking of which, last week we unleashed Back Alley Kitty, the story of a deep-sea diver stuck in a time loop because he couldn't resist a magical possum woman. Critics called it mesmerizingly gross, and honestly, we kind of agree.
Yeah, it's like The Notebook, but with possums. Well, sort of possums. And somehow a lot less dignity and Southern charm.
This week, we're diving back into Untappd to see just how much movie magic we can squeeze out of a few beers and a lot of bad decisions. Harrison, are you ready to make people question their life's choices?
I was born ready. Let's get weird. John, crack open that first beer. But first, actually, let's do a recap of exactly what transpired on last week's feature film.
Can you believe these are the same two guys that gave us Banana Whale?
All right, John, I almost don't even remember how we landed on Back Alley Kitty, other than we both thought it was a clever name for a possum.
And somehow we barely mentioned a possum the whole film. But we did find other ways to make a time loop movie fresh and new and, as critics said, mesmerizingly gross. What were your thoughts as you listened to that finished podcast episode?
Yes, so had a few. I do agree with what you just said. I wanted to have what was her name, Catherine, be more of a possum-like creature. I think we kind of talked about it a little bit. She's dirty. She's dirt-like.
Yeah, we just made her a dirty person.
Right, right. We weren't as pointed as we could have been, I guess, alluding to the fact that maybe she's half possum. She wasn't pulling many things out of a fanny pack-like pouch.
Oh, yeah, the fanny pack.
Yes, I think, because we talked about that, I think, in the Fast Five, maybe even? I don't remember.
Not in the film.
Yeah, but maybe we mentioned it once at the end. But anyway, so we all found out at the end that Catherine's true identity, which was shocking, most of all to Matt. But that was fun. It was also really cool. I don't think we've done this before, but we basically mashed up two Fast Five movie ideas last week. Obviously, Back Alley Kitty was the feature, was the core of that movie. But we took kind of some of the characters we were goofing on from Unknown Depths and put them into the Back Alley Kitty world, which I thought was great. And it just kind of happened naturally and made sense. So that was really cool. So now I'm going to be on the lookout for
trying to do it again. It happened so organically on its own.
Right.
I think Unknown Depths was probably the movie that we really loved riffing on in the Fast Five, and then bringing those characters into Back Alley Kitty through Harrison and I's aged brains. I think it just happened.
Couldn't let go of the idea.
It made it seem like now these movies, like they're starting to become more like a Beer Me That Movie universe. We said that the Back Alley Kitty was someone's banana whale.
Yes, we did, which is, it is fun without us trying to, hopefully, we're not trying to force it, it's kind of happening. We have these reference points, whether it's sexy nuns or the banana whale, or I don't want to pontificate too much, but this year's Banana Whale may be the Back Alley Kitty. We may be referencing the Back Alley Kitty in a bunch of movies, because we all, maybe not all, but some of us maybe have a Back Alley Kitty and a Banana Whale. Maybe they're one and the same, like Catherine was. But I like that has been added to the Beer Me That Movie universe as a thing that can happen. An interdimensional possum woman who's a prostitute.
The marsupial pouch is not a fourth hole.
Well, I mean, that's up to Catherine. But anyway, that was very cool. That was awesome. I love that the universe is coming more alive. And then my last thought, the mid-movie mashup I love this idea. I am excited / terrified of what's going to happen to us tonight, but I welcome it. I think it'll, throw us some curveballs, and I can't wait to see what the next one is.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was a lot of fun to kind of workshop into the story of the movie, and it made it feel more like you're pitching it to a proper studio where you got this beautiful idea like Back to the Future, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, we need this to be a love story.
Right.
Oh,
of course you do.
I need your money, but I don't want you to ruin my idea.
Right, so we're zigging and zagging. That was fun. What other thoughts do you have, John?
I mean, that was pretty much, I think it's always fun to have some tiptoeing around lewd things in a story idea.
Yes.
I loved your reference to Poison Ivy and the dentist from Sunny Philly.
Yes,
allowed me to kind of understand who these characters are by making them relatable to anyone that watches good TV like Sunny Philly.
Yes, exactly right. Yes, I forgot that we had the Matt method, the
Matt method. I can't remember what it was, but I had a lot of fun editing that in the video part of this podcast.
Yes, if you haven't watched that yet, YouTube is always full of gems, but there were a lot of between how the back alley kitty looked, the riffing off the dentist / Matt method. There were lots of great visuals this week on YouTube and Spotify. Yeah. What else? Any other thoughts?
I'll tell you a thought that I've had for a minute is I'm getting kind of thirsty.
Oh, are you? I'm getting kind of thirsty too, John. Can we crack open with a beer and get ready to roll out the Fast Five?
I've been butt chugging a stout since I sat down in this chair. Please, let's drink a beer the traditional way.
Oh, good Lord. Let me save, John.
It's in a can.
We're going to drink this beer and let it inspire us.
All right. Well, I find out a way to replace my chair. I'm going to open up for John's chair. We're going to open up this beer. So this week, we are drinking a beer called Cinder from Brewery Bhavana, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a black IPA, 7.5% ABV, and the quick notes from Brewery Bhavana. This Maris Otter rye malt to bittered black crystal rye and oats give this black IPA an incredibly layered texture with a punch of Amarillo and Chinook in the dry hop, baby. So it is stout season after all, so naturally I grabbed us a black IPA, John. I didn't hit the bullseye, but I think I landed kind of close. We'll see.
It's dark in color.
Yes,
the artwork, Bhavana does such beautiful cans.
I know. My hot take that isn't really a hot take is I think they're the best brewery in North Carolina that not enough people talk about. Like so many other ones get a lot of attention, and rightfully so. A lot of great breweries here.
Yeah.
But every time I have this beer, I'm like, why isn't this on tap everywhere? Why isn't this so available and talked about all the time? I don't know. So we're talking about it tonight, doing what we can. And I'm looking forward to reading this one.
I've heard black IPAs referred to once by founders, I think, as a Cascadian IPA. Do you know what
the Cascadian Dark Ale? Yes, is what they originally. I think someone in Oregon, someone on the internet maybe will know this, did it first. So, but yeah, Cascadia. You're referring to, I guess, like the mountains out there, the Cascades.
They probably are dark at night.
Certainly, most things are. Yeah, so that's kind of what this started out as. Although beer is interesting. The first one I ever had was from Stone, and they labeled it an American Strong Ale, and it was sublimely self-righteous. They didn't even know about Cascadian Dark Ales or black IPAs. All right, let me get in here.
It's such a... Like, I want the head to be big and creamy like it looks. I want it to be a stout.
But it's not.
But it comes packing like, have you ever had, when your like mom makes brownies, she uses the chocolate powder.
Yes.
And if you taste that chocolate powder, you're like, what the fuck? That's like the bitterness that I get from this beer.
Some serious bitterness in here that kind of jumps along at the end. Cool. This is I love Chinook. Chinook is one of those dirty, bitter hops that
like a back alley kitty hop.
Like a back alley kitty hop. Tastes like the ground in a good way. The hatchback of a whatever car.
Yeah, in all fairness, this is delicious. Knowing that it's a black IPA, I think it reminds me of like the first time I had a dark penance, I think it was from Founders.
Oh, yeah.
Or any
That's
other
another
really
one.
dark IPA where you're just like, this shouldn't be happening, but I'm here for the rest of it.
Ooh, it is. That bitterness sneaks up on you. All right, cool, great. So we'll be enjoying this tonight. But as always, this isn't the beer we're going to be turned into a movie. It just kind of inspires John and I and fuels us as we run through those things. So now, speaking of running through those things or driving through those things, it's time to move into the driver's seat and turbo out into a Fast Five. But before we do,
I always want to remind everyone that we make a very firm choice on not running advertisements on this podcast because Harrison hustles way too hard to keep our social media alive. It would be nice if you could donate a tag, a follow, a like, drop a comment to Beer Me That Movie on any of the social medias that exist in the world and submit some of your beer ideas.
and if typing feels like too much effort, just leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/beermethatmovie or hit the link on our website, which is, of course, beermethatmovie.com. Listen, and most of the time we throw those on the show and you get a shout out and we talk to your voicemail.
And now it's time to push in the clutch, shift into first, and rev your. How did we end up doing all these car analogies for?
Blame Vin Diesel. All right, so we're in. We've revved into the whatever, the Fast Five, the garage. Cool. So last Fast Five to start the year, we did not have a listener submitted beer, but you guys made up for it this week. A lot of cool submissions, so we wanted to shout out a few right now before we jump into Untappd and do the rest of the Fast Five. So we're starting with you all, and one we could not ignore from the one and only Brian Davis. He submitted this beer through Instagram. So again, you can message us on Instagram. You can send us a message on Untappd. It's tough if you're tagging us on Untappd because
we get tagged a lot.
We do get tagged a lot, and I love it. And please keep doing it because it's cool to get those notifications. But it does make it impossible to be the place where you share your beers with us. But you can message us directly. If you didn't know that, you can share a beer on Untappd as a direct message if you want to do that. Anyway. This came through Instagram from Brian, and the beer is called Eccentric or Eccentric, maybe. It's
spelled like societe.
Spelled a bit like societe. Everyone's having fun out there. From Strange Bird. It's a farmhouse ale, and Brian shared a story with us, complete with some amazing movie posters from the 90s. So he says, growing up in Birmingham, New York, having the movie Diabolique, spelled the same way as Eccentric, partially filmed in my hometown, was awesome until we saw the movie. It's absolutely horrible. Perhaps Eccentric could be a great, deliberately awful movie.
I've got to find him.
No, Mia, let's just stick to our story, okay? It's even better like this.
And John and I talked, we don't really know anything about this movie Diabolique. I guess Kathy Bates is in it, but she didn't make it on the poster for whatever reason. But we zoomed in on the poster that Brian shared with us. And the tagline for this movie is 2 women, 1 man. The combination can be murder.
I wish it would have gone threesome with Kathy Bates. Right. That's the combination. 2 plus 1. Right.
It can also be Three's Company, the most joyful sitcom of the 70s. It can be the opposite of murder. It can be great.
Didn't they end up murdering the landlord?
Did they? So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe 2 girls and a guy always ends in murder at some point. But yeah, so that movie exists.
I think it's awesome that you shared that. I mean, like so the beer he found was eccentric.
Yeah.
And it's spelled like QUE, like diabolique. which was filmed in, as a former New Yorker,
Yes.
Binghamton,
Yes, right.
New York.
Thank you, John.
Shout out for those New Yorkers that don't actually live in the city. There's a lot of us,
There's
and
a lot.
we understand what life is like not in New York City. But filming a movie in Binghamton, that's a stretch.
It's a little cold.
That's
Not
it's
much
probably
to do.
there might be a reason that hasn't happened a lot. But I think it's awesome that Brian shared that story with us.
Yes, Brian's great for a share. Lots of awesome beers come from him, so we had to shout that one out. But he wasn't alone. Again, we got a couple submissions, and we landed on another one that I think we're gonna roll this Fast Five along with to start. From Greg, who also submits some great beers to us from Societe, from Society Brewing, who of course created Unknown Depths for us. So we had a blast with
Nuking the Ocean.
Nuke of the Ocean. But this beer that Greg shared with us is called the Madam.
Ooh,
The Madam.
the Madam.
Yes.
I mean, I think of a woman running a brothel.
course,
I
of
think of
course,
maybe a
of
really
course.
powerful woman running a brothel as a front for an assassination company.
Okay, that's fun. Kind of, what's that? Wanted, like with Angelina Jolie, where there's a secret assassin. She was not in a brothel. That would have sold more tickets.
Way more.
But
When you said wanted, I thought it was I have a very particular set of skills, but that was
that's taken.
different. Okay.
Close.
Run out of movie. People need to do more Fast Fives to name their films.
That's right. They need to call us. We'll pick up the phone. But okay. Yes, I like that. The thought that I had when I first saw it played up on like an old conspiracy theory. We all know Jack the Ripper, right? The story of Jack the Ripper. Never
Yeah.
caught, murdered a bunch of ladies, a bunch of back alley kitties, a bunch of ladies of the night in the late 1800s, I believe.
A lot of girls with dad issues had fantasies about Jack, I think.
So I think so yeah, for sure. Yes, growing up, those were the ones I tried to stay away from but couldn't.
Back alley kitties.
Those back alley kitties. So there's a fun, and so Jack the Ripper is, nobody knows who he is. As far as I know, we still haven't caught him or have any idea really of who did it conclusively. But one of the fun theories is that it wasn't a man, it was a woman doing it. So now we're at a classic Beer Me That Movie crossroads where, is this a serious movie about some mad woman, a mad, so we're playing up on the mad, who is like murdering women and trying to blame maybe these rich socialite men and tear down the patriarchy by
She's definitely
whatever.
got a manifesto.
She definitely has a
Yeah.
manifesto. She's blowing up Cybertrucks. So is that what's happening? Or, so that's the one path. Or is this almost like a Mr. Bean type movie, like in a woman who like just out cleaning the knives in the alley, and she whoop-de-doo and throws them into some woman's neck, and so she's accidentally murdering all these.
She doesn't even know she's Jack the Ripper.
Right. So she's just accidentally creating a terrifying serial killer. I don't know. I mean, again, these are the saplings of ideas here, but I saw the name and immediately said this could be terrifying, or this is Mr. Bean and drag getting, creating Jack the Ripper out of accidents. Either would be, I think, entertaining, but that's where I went with the Madam, John.
I mean, the fact that it's made by Society, spelled in a fun way, Brewery, and it's called the Madam, makes me want to go that like very gothic route of the Madam, and it's a very like low saturated film, kind of dark and grainy,
like Nosferatu.
Yes, but the fact that it's Beer Me That Movie makes me exactly want, like, I want Mr. Bean to voice the Madam and have like Meryl Streep play her in the performance of a lifetime. Where she's like at a yard sale, and she's like,
Right.
and then accidentally like sets a clock down on the edge of a table, and it falls and it kills another
Exactly.
girl,
Yep.
but she's already left.
Exactly. Yes. Throws a washboard over a wall and it cuts someone's head off. I mean, this movie writes itself.
Yeah.
We'd have to obviously really dig into the details and why there are other people that are thought to be Jack the Ripper. Do they just happen to be nearby? We can figure all that out. But yes, the Jack the Ripper doesn't exist, and it's just the result of a clumsy person. That would be fun.
I also I can't get on with the title, the richness of it, the Madam. Like I want it almost like The Witch or something where it's like, but not supernatural horror. I think we would have a lot of fun with making her an assassin and almost frame it in that women have really been they always say behind every man is a better woman.
Yes.
So
true.
Yeah, we have male presidents historically in this country, but that's mainly set up because the Madam is moving the chess pieces behind the scenes.
Exactly. Never catches any heat. She's the ultimate puppet master, the Madam, the
played
final
by
boss.
Marissa Tomei, of course.
Ooh, well, she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Right. I was prepared to fight you and save humanity in the free world, but
you're not running for office.
Can I get your number?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's totally fine. You're right. You're right. You're right.
You're right. When you're right, you're right. I can't say no to you in that white t-shirt. All right. Is it hot in here or is it just me? Good.
It's
okay. It is me. Doggy. All right, those were good.
That was fun.
Stuff.
I love user submissions. Thanks again, Brian and Greg, for sending those in. They kind of keep us on our toes. Speaking of which, now it's time to get fully off of our toes. I don't know. We're gonna open up Fast Five, and we're gonna find a couple more beers to riff on.
That's right.
One down, more to go.
For beer number 2, we're gonna check out Dr. Robot from Monday Night Brewing. I think I got something for this one.
Great.
So Dr. Robot is the story of a man with a dream, okay?
Okay.
He's a regular. He's been beaten down like most of us, but he's always held on to this dream, skipping a family, kids, any significant others, significant relationships. He spends most of his free time working on building this robot that will replace doctors.
Okay.
And he's getting a little maybe it's an erector set build. I don't know exactly, but maybe he sucks at building this. But
forever, right?
Most of the movie is just stories about him holding on to his dream but failing. He's going into the hospital and he's like, let me show your surgeons my Dr. Robot. It's amazing. It's incredible. And he's got a fetal pig that I can show you how it'll work on it. And maybe it's him holding the erector. Just imagine if this was autonomous.
Right. Exactly. We need to find a way to power it and sanitize it. Every time I spray it with cleaning solution, it falls apart. But
Legos are part of this?
Right.
Just the roller wheels. Lego makes the best roller wheels.
Right.
We've done lots of testing.
That's right. If you lose a block, you can just replace it with our Lego block. Lose it in the person?
Hopefully not. I'm not. Are you a doctor? Well, no, I'm more of an inventor.
Right, exactly. An honorary doctor.
Yeah, I lost my dog when I was young to a totally curable disease. Oh my God, what happened? He was hit by a Chevy.
Right.
And my dad said he was too broke to fix, so we had to bury him. I could still hear him squealing to this day as my dad made me shovel the dirt on his undead body. So I thought to myself, I'm going to build a Dr. Robot.
Yeah. Make sure no one else goes through the pain I went through. Dr. Robot in every home. Okay. I see. He's comes from a good place. This guy, this idea. Got a good heart. A human heart. Okay. So does he succeed? Does he make Dr. Robot and kind of Dr. Frank or Edward Scissorhands makes him and then dies and Dr. Robot's alone without a purpose,
trying to fix him, but he can't fix him.
He fails on his first.
You never gave me the Wi-Fi password. I can't upload.
Can't load anything up. I'm basically just a large can opener.
Then the movie in Act 2 just transitions to this Dr. Robot wearing a trench coat, trying to get a job at a hospital.
Right, exactly. I can stock shelves. You guys have Wi-Fi here?
Talking through his illuminated LED
with a wig on. Covered in makeup,
holding a glass of whiskey. I was told doctors drink whiskey.
Exactly right. Well, it's 2025, so we have to hire you. Come on in.
Yes, I knew painting my face black would work. Oh, I gotta take that out.
Such good ideas. Oh yeah, so Dr. Robot, and then he finally gets linked into Wi-Fi and activates, links into the the mainframe or whatever. And is he the best doctor ever? Is he a mad scientist? Is the program he's linked into him like doing ridiculous, unnecessary surgeries on people, trying to merge bird wings on a child? Like, is he creating monsters? Or is he
like the doctor robot is actually like the key is that he's a productivity software. Once he gets connected to the Wi-Fi, he's like able to schedule. We can get 20 more surgeries in a day. This Dr. Robot is so efficient. And then because it's Beer Me That Movie, perhaps we start seeing like, why are we doing the kidney surgery on this guy? So you can take one of his kidneys and put it in the other kidney person.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like, humans are slow. They should all have wings.
A person doesn't need 3 kidneys. Dr. Robot approves.
Right. He's rebuilding the human race in his image, his distorted, half uploaded image that some community college dropout built into him. It's just a bunch of Wikipedia articles that I liked. Where's he getting all this data? Where's the knowledge coming from? It's old reruns of Cheers.
Dr. Robot needs you to replace my Lego rollers immediately.
Oh my God. Yes. And
the hospital loves him because their insurance claims are all getting processed, though.
Right. Yeah.
He haggles with the insurance companies
he's
perfectly.
Doing that in the background. And it could be some AI showdown, or maybe he tries to, in the kind of the vein or of efficiency, creates either more Dr. Robots or creates himself into a super Dr. Robot, has to be taken down by the town. It's very close to Frankenstein, but it's just fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to retell that every once in a while in a different way, where he's just fighting for his life on fire in a windmill. That'd be a fun, whatever the modern day windmill is, a water tower. I don't know. I don't know where the final scene would happen.
Maybe it's still a windmill.
It might still be a windmill. They do still exist, so I'm told.
Now it's one of those electric generating windmills. Yeah.
Huge. Not for churning butter anymore. Unfortunate.
Totally.
Need more butter, less electricity and more butter. Okay, that's fun. I like that. Dr. Robot from cool.
We'll throw it on the list and we'll see what's coming up next.
That's 2. You guys are thirsty.
For beer number 3, we're going to take a stop on a brewery that's all over Untappd tonight. There Does Not Exist, and the beer is called Dawn Keeper.
So Dawn Keeper. Here's what I'm thinking is we're in a town. Gosh, I don't know what time period this is. We'll figure that out. But there's like a legend of you don't go in the woods. Maybe there's some poem about, if you... No,
make up a poem on the spot.
That ends in Dawn Keeper.
What kind of a writer are you, Harrison?
Not a very good one. That's why we're making a podcast.
Okay, well, I think we're in Victorian times.
We could be. I do. It's
I don't know anything else about it other than there's a poem in the woods.
It's 18. It's the 18. Well, maybe you're not meant to know as the audience, but it's no cars. They're in a little town, kind of near the ocean, in the woods or right outside the woods. And there's a legend about blah, 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 and you don't bother the Dawn Keeper. And growing up, it's kind of used as a scary story, but every adult in town will tell you, like, no, it just means don't go, like, to the beach before the sun comes up, because you may trip and fall in the water and you'll drown in the dark. Like, it's just...
So the kids in this town, though, they're like, it's like their boogeyman.
Sure,
kind of.
Yeah, they tease each other about it, and, the Dawn Keeper will get you if you go too deep in the woods and jump off the cliffs in the woods into the water.
Are any of the girls in this town named Dawn?
Hold on, John.
Okay, sorry. I'm getting excited.
And so, of course, we have one curious, let's say, young man who,
Is he a minority?
Not necessarily. Maybe he could be. It doesn't matter. Although if this is a Victorian town,
I'm just gonna keep poking you.
It's probably pretty mono whatever.
That's true.
It's all blonde haired, blue eyed people. And this
Victorian World War II Germany. Got it.
Had to come from somewhere.
A lot of camps.
And so one boy ventures into the woods one night, a little bit further than he should. Maybe he sees a flame out in the distance and is like, what is that? Follows it. And sure enough, sees a girl holding a torch, runs into the woods. He chases her. She disappears. Can't find her. Now he's curious. never seen this girl before. She's wearing kind of, leaves for clothes or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I know where this is going.
Okay, so,
He's like, he's got a thing.
Well, hold on.
She's the World War II Nazi Germany version of a JCPenney bra catalog. He's in.
Yes, exactly. He saw leaves on boobs and was like, my life is different.
I gotta follow that.
There's just before this and after this. My life has changed. But he doesn't catch her that night. It disappears into the woods. He retreats, decides to go back. Anyway, this goes on for a little bit. Eventually, he finds where she goes and is stopped by this old man. And she's hiding in a cabin in the woods, let's say, or some hut or a cave or whatever. Clearly, she's living there with this older man. And the guy's like, oh my gosh, this man's keeping this woman here. I gotta free her. She's here against her will. And he's like, don't. And the old man, meanwhile, is like, you must leave. You cannot be here. You cannot come. Don't you know the Dawn Keeper? Maybe he even references it. And so the young man fights the old man, knocks him over, gets a good lucky punch in or whatever, falls down, hits on a rock, and dead.
This old man is like the knight at the end of the Indiana Jones movie
Exactly.
where he gets to the Holy Grail.
Yeah,
He's
to
like,
stand up.
I don't know if I can do this anymore, but I am supposed to protect her.
That's right. So, yeah. So exactly. So the old man dies in a kind of heroic way, and this kid goes to the woman to try to, he thinks, free her. But I think what's actually happening, and the reason you need to fear the Dawn Keeper, is this man was charged with keeping this woman in this cave because she is a vampire, is a werewolf, is a monster. So she is the problem.
She's a hot, naked, leaf-wearing druid monster.
Exactly right.
Love this.
And so this guy thinks he's doing a good favor, freeing her, tries to bring her to the village, and he kind of notices she's not acting normal. She's sniffing around all the other people a lot, doesn't like to eat their food, seems hungry for something else. And so he, unknown to him or unintentionally, invites a monster into his nice little town, who of course does monster stuff. And that's the rest of the movie, is them trying to rid themselves of this boogeyman they invited basically into their house.
Maybe there was a old pennant on the old man or some magic device that at the end of the movie they have to figure that out. But
yeah,
I like this.
Right.
I like this.
It's got, it's the old twist in the middle or twist in the first act.
I think I'm doing a good thing.
Exactly.
I killed an old man to do it. We'll glaze over that part.
Well, it's olden days.
He's such a kind-hearted kid, but
People
does he
die.
have a punch.
Yeah, exactly. He just got lucky.
And that old man was already
he was
old.
going down.
He lived a good life.
Yeah, he was just stuck in the woods pooping in a bucket watching some demon child, but
keeping it locked up.
That.
Good, and then, oh my God, what have you done to us?
Right, exactly. So
it gives me a little bit of Big Nose vibes, but Big Nose was not a sexy monster.
Correct.
So I like the spin.
Yeah, this will be like Species, but set in the 1800s, in Victorian countryside,
Nazi Germany,
or that. Yeah.
You could. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of the Nazis were obsessed with supernatural powers.
They definitely were, yeah. The occult and all that stuff.
That might fill
it
right
could
in.
Be a triple twist that we feel sorry for the people getting eaten in this town, and then realize they're all Nazis.
They're all Nazis. So at the end, yes, I love this roller coaster.
Right,
save the woman. Oh my God, the monster is a woman and she's killing on every. Oh, they're Nazis. Great.
Nazis, great. Dead Nazis.
And then the GIs come over and kill the rest of them, and the woman's like, I want to come home with you.
Exactly.
I am just a killer of Nazis.
Exactly right. And then she's Hillary Rodham Clinton. No.
Well, there goes the sexy part. That's totally gone and dead now. Never coming back. Oh God. Okay, so that was fun for beer number 3. Let's see where we go from here.
3 down. We're probably halfway done already.
For our 4th beer, it's made by Dank House Brewing Company. Dank House. And it's called Crypto Culture. Crypto Culture is very much set in modern day because it hasn't existed until your crazy cousin or nephew told you about it 2 Thanksgivings ago, and now you dread the next Thanksgiving where he tells you about it again.
Yep.
It's a real thing that some very few people have turned tens of thousands of dollars into millions of dollars.
Right.
And the very vast majority of us are just spending dumb money that we don't have on things that barely exist. So crypto culture could be like a look at that, almost like the movie Kids, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like a look at modern kids and the crypto culture ones that would be like the finance nerds of your high school dropouts or something like that.
Right. What if, so a big part of cryptocurrency is mining for cryptocurrency, which like takes a lot of energy, generates a lot of heat, I guess like consumes a lot of water to cool down all these whatevers that they're these
Pickaxes.
that they're mining into each computer to find.
We have to tear these computers apart.
I wonder if like it's like set in the near future where like paper money is gone, everyone's doing crypto, so we're all mining all the time, and like without realizing it, melt all the glaciers. Like it basically terraforms the planet into water world accidentally. And now we all have millions of poo-poo coins, but like all we have is a boat to live on, and have to poop in the ocean and stuff. The crypto culture melts all the ice in the world.
I like the idea of us also like going back in time to mining. Like kids used to work in the mines, die in the mines, and now that's exactly where we're going. Now you're just dying in a hot server room.
Exactly. Yeah, somewhere you're just melting.
You get one Mountain Dew per shift. You're going to be here 13 hours.
You drink it, then you pee right back in the bottle. You can't leave. I'm sweating a lot. It seems unhealthy. I'm getting.
We need to find the last Bitcoin. That'd be cool. If this was called the last Bitcoin, it'd be so much more fun to make.
That'll be the last Bitcoin. Ooh.
Of course, I think Bitcoins. This is where I'll reveal some vulnerability. I don't know shit about cryptocurrency.
It's all made up.
But I think Bitcoins never die. Also,
They sit in your
they're
wallet
finite amount.
Yeah.
You can't like inflation them, although they have inflated in price. Again, not an economics major. Put $50 into your favorite sounding crypto name and just consider yourself set for retirement. That's if it all works out.
Just forget about it, literally. Poo-poo coins. There could be something there.
Crypto culture. I wish I would have done better, but
so does crypto culture. The world's over.
Okay, so we will do better on our upcoming beer number 5.
Moving on to the next beer.
For beer number 5, we couldn't turn this opportunity down. Harrison's going to laugh us into Muffin on the Backside from Funktastic Beer.
Muffin on the backside. What?
I mean, is this a movie about a girl with butt muff?
I mean, that's what it does. Do we know definitively what muffin on the backside means? Does that mean something?
I mean,
you just have a muffin on the backside? That was muffin top or nothing.
I guess we could go to Urban Dictionary and take a look and find out one of the many things someone submitted, but I feel like muffin on the backside means really like you got a nice butt.
Perfect. I like that. What else could it mean where you turn it into a movie about someone who has a nice muffin on the backside?
It's muffin on the backside is kind of like crypto culture, but in this case, it's people that eat ass. And what they're doing is they're muffing on the backside.
Got it.
And there's a new disease that kind of like the AIDS scare of like the 70s and 80s. Like, oh, you are graduating college, you're gonna end up muffing on the backside and getting the syndrome, like all those kids that dropped out.
Right, muffin on the backside. It's dangerous. Don't do it. Don't listen to mom and dad.
But I love the muffin.
Muffin on the backside.
You can't tell me how to love. There's probably something better than just kids eating ass.
Oh my God. It sounds almost like a musical. Like Muffin is on the, from the other side of town, from the back side of town. She's trying to make it in the country club world. and she can't until she reveals that she can dance like nobody's business, and she does her best J-Lo impression and impresses the right guy in the right golf cart, and now Muffin's moving up in the world, but forgetting her roots. It's a coming of age tale. It's
you say she's from the backside. Like
yes.
In my head, she's kind of like Betty Boop. Does she have
okay.
a country drawl or anything that makes her stand out in this country club area?
Maybe she does she?
I feel like the first thing that comes to mind is Jamie Presley. Is that her name?
That is
from something about Earl or whatever that show was called, where she was kind of like
yeah. That is her name, I think. Yes, she's awesome.
She was like, I don't mean this in a pejorative way, but she was a definite back alley kitty.
Oh yeah,
like she was a little trashy, but she was also confident and she said what she wanted.
Magical.
And I could see this Muffin on the backside, little Muffin from the backside, being something like that.
The backside could be literally the name of the trailer park. It's called the backside because it's behind the Walmart.
But it's Muffin on the backside. Okay, I got to get ass-eating kids out of my head. So she's into analingus? Is that?
That's, oh, God. You're right.
I mean, that could happen. You know, she's got a nice butt. It's Muffin out there on hole 9. She's the cart girl. She's offering you like, hey, sweetheart, if you buy 2 of those Coors Lights, I'll hook you up with a 3rd one for free.
That's right.
She bends down to grab it. And the guy who we show earlier in the film, he's having an argument with his wife.
Yep.
And then she bends over and she's like, here you go, sweetie. That one's on me.
This is it. So the backside, like the back 9 of a golf course.
Oh,
wait for
my
exactly
God! It was right there.
It was right there. Well, but it's like, oh, you want to grab some beers here? No. Wait for the cart girl on 12. What do you mean? Yeah, Muffin on the backside.
Yeah,
she'll get you more than cold beers. And Muffin just bangs her way to the top of this town, like through blackmail and sexing guys in the sand trap on the 13th hole. She just blackmails her way to the top and becomes the mayor of this tiny country club town just because she has all the photos that can't get leaked out to the press of all the right people.
Taking on her Samsung Galaxy phone.
Right. Her brother in the bushes. Well, a friend in the bushes taking a picture.
I'm next.
But this is Muffin's whole plan, to just conquer the backside and then the world.
I think it would start like her plan is to make some money. I'm gonna make some extra money. Look, I made an extra $40. All I had to do was bang 6 guys. And eventually it starts to be like, damn, Muffin, you banged the whole mayor.
Right. Exactly.
What do you mean? He's the mayor of this town? Yeah, I got pictures of you banging the mayor out there in the sand.
You were taking pictures of me? You'll thank me one day. Will I? No, but I like that. She starts out just trying to have a job and learns that all these people are dirtbags and they run the whole town. And they're the reason that her life is horrible. They're, not passing any laws and they keep dumping the garbage on her side of town and all this stuff. And she's like, I got a chance to change this all.
He's like,
what do I use?
Taking a call while she's disrobing in the sand trap. He's like, yeah, we're going to keep putting the trash out there behind 17th Street. Those people suck. Keep going, Muffin. You're doing great.
There, right. Exactly. That's my home.
You see her heartbreak on camera.
Exactly right.
As this happens.
Thought the garbage just fell from the sky. It's these people that have been doing it my whole life.
Sweet little Muffin. Sweet little Muffin. And it might even be maybe there's like another cart girl that's like, look, if you really want to make some money, a lot of these guys have a lot of money and shitty home lives. You know what I mean?
Show some leg. I'll show the whole Muffin. They don't call me Muffin for nothing. Oh, all right. This is amazing. Yes, sex your way to the top. Oh my gosh, I like Muffin.
And then burn it down, and then burn down the patriarchy when you're up there.
Just light the town hall on fire.
She has a hard time not trying to light the mayor's balls on fire when he's talking about setting the trash. But I think in that moment we see Muffin.
The bigger plan.
Yes, she's got more smarts than you might have thought.
Than most Muffins do.
That was fantastic beer number 5. I just want to roll right into a feature film, but it's become kind of a tradition that we find one beer that serves as an ultimatum. Effectively, It's always beer number 6, but it has a cooler name, and that's what we're going to find next.
And that's 5 of 5 beers. But we'll throw in a bonus idea, because Harrison does his best work on a deadline.
So for Ultimatum tonight, it's coming from Trillium Brewery, which probably everyone on Untappd has heard of and fawned over at some point. This one is called Super Secret Stairs. So did you grew up around like Pennsylvania, like in the north where people had basements, right?
100%. We had an awesome basement growing up. It was full of a ping pong table and a pool table and a TV and a couch. All my music stuff that's behind me now was down there.
If you move down south, at least on the coast south, they don't tell you you're going to give up basements and turn them into sheds, which are nowhere near as cool.
That's why the shed exists. We don't have a basement.
I'd take a basement over any shed.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So this Super Secret Stairs, my great-grandmother was a big part of my life growing up, and she had stairs in her house that was the first house ever built.
Okay.
And the stairs would go down to this dirt cutout basement with like a little trench where the water would run through. And there was like cans down there where she would can her tomatoes and stuff. There was one light, just like every scary movie. You'd have to walk down this rickety old wooden stairs down to the basement, and then you'd have to go halfway into the basement to pull the light cord because there was no freaking switch.
Yep.
And then you'd be able to see if there were monsters down there and you were about to die or not. But until that moment, you were unsure.
You were pretty sure you were dying.
So in this take on Super Secret Stairs, it's kind of like my Grammy's stairs. But one day we go down there and we turn on the light and we see something like a Pan, like Pan's Labyrinth, or like a witch or some sort of creature. And it comes off, we don't know if it's good or bad, but it gives you a quest or something to do. Like it needs help, right?
Okay.
Which is a great way to get someone on your side.
Yes, it is.
Even if you are nefarious, it's like, hey, I live down here with all these canned
I'm stuck.
I live down here with all of these canned tomatoes.
I can't eat no more tomatoes.
I have no basil. I need for you to bring me 2 basil leaves. I don't know where the accent goes. It's a nefarious creature.
Yeah.
But he gives a kid a quest. Like, I need you to do I need you to help me.
Okay.
And I think for the movie to progress, the kid has to take the quest on.
Has to take the quest. It's a trick to get it out of the basement. Then what happens?
You think he's going to bring the creature? Like maybe it's like a Mowgli, like he's going to bring him out of the basement to go get the basil?
Well, I'm saying he's going to go find whatever the quest is that he needs help with. He does it, brings back the book, the basil, the whatever, and the beast is like, ha ha ha.
That was the last thing I needed for my ritual.
Exactly.
We trade places.
Yes. Swaps out and then can walk the world while the child's stuck in the basement under the super secret stairs.
Yeah, because when Grammy goes down there, she's not scared. She just goes down there, puts her tomatoes on the shelf, walks back.
Right.
Giving no shits about the supernatural creatures.
It's been down. She's almost bumped into it about a half dozen times, but she's up. No time for chit chat. Just here to store stuff in the cellar. Ooh, I like this. I like the idea. And I like the idea of like, a young man or boy or whatever going to visit grandma's house, the scary basement. Can you go fetch me the tomatoes? And there's a creature down there.
It's the worst part.
Needs help. It could even be like behind a wall. Maybe you can't see it, just hears it. And there's a little hole in the wall. I've been down here forever. I need help.
You could do a little like you could do a whole. This would be a great scene. Like, hello.
Yes, exactly.
Can you hear me? I need your help.
There's an old man down here.
Why are you down here, old man? Like, I'm picturing like Haley Joel Osment, The Sixth Sense, that sort of kid.
Yep. Just totally naive and talking to the creepy creature behind the wall. And
maybe it ends up being Grammy was keeping him down. Maybe that's Grandpa.
Right. Could be Grandpa. Something went wrong. He was eating too many canned tomatoes and got lead poisoning or something. Yeah. I mean, I like this idea, and it's, of this creature in the basement that gets out, and then it's up to them to kind of put the genie back in the bottle. And that could be the whole movie. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. I think that's as fun as that's Lake Placid, that's Deep Blue Sea, that's a lot of great movies. It's just, we did a thing because we were dumb. Now we got to stop that thing.
He just wanted basil.
Right. And then it's just trying to catch a monster, which is great. I love those movies. Those movies are the best. I dig it. And it all happened while walking down the super secret stairs. If only he hadn't just played his Game Boy and left
Yeah,
the
just
canned tomatoes
be a
alone.
normal kid, little
Don't be
young
so
Johnny.
helpful, John.
Don't go down there and help your Grammy out because you want rigatoni.
Exactly.
Tell her to go get it herself. It's freaking dark and scary
That's right.
down there.
Tell
her to get a light switch or a flashlight.
Exactly right. Electricity in her house. Right. That'd be good. A real floor.
She'd always can her tomatoes like the old fashioned way, right? Where you boil them and everything.
Yes.
And then she would cook for 100 people, even if it was just you coming over after school to do chores. And then you would get leftovers to take home. The leftovers, anyone that had a grandmother of any sort of European descent knows, your leftovers were given to you in a rinsed out Cool Whip container. There was no Tupperware. It was grab a Cool Whip container from the bin. There was like a whole bin of them.
Just old Cool
Grab a Cool Whip container, hopefully one that doesn't have too much red stain in it from the last pasta, but it's fine.
Right.
It's fine. You can leave it out for 3 days.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Cool Whip. I love that.
Well, in that case, that's our Ultimatum beer. So we've got 6 in the 6-shooter. Maybe we can turn this into a Western theme instead of Fast Five. Just kidding.
Just fast.
But now it's time to figure out what we're going to do with these.
Now, we've got to pick one of these fever dreams to make into a movie next week.
So now my favorite part of these Fast Fives is when Harrison does the easiest part of this whole podcast and picks which beer we're going to put on for a feature next week.
My gosh. This is always so difficult.
You know what I wanted to do? We'll have to do this for the next Fast Five. I asked some people on YouTube for a genre idea, and one of them that was requested was dystopian circus romance. And I forgot to include that in a Fast Five. Might not have worked for anything other than Muffin on the backside.
I was gonna say, that's almost that.
Next Fast Five, one of these will be whatever the hell a dystopian circus romance is.
Circus, country club. You could say it's the same thing, depending on which one you go to. Man, so, gosh, I think I'll do what I usually do. We'll kill the ones I think I don't want to do first. As much as I think we could do something poignant with crypto culture, I feel like that was the one that had the least movie in it.
Yeah, when I say Harrison goes first, I mean you pick the film. You going first and eliminating, that's the easiest one to eliminate. Crypto culture, that wasn't fully fleshed out. But I'll go next, and I will remove, I think, Dr. Robot. That was my baby, and I'm okay killing it. Would have been fun. I like the Lego rollers a lot, but...
I love the mad scientist and reimagining Dr. Frankenstein as a AI horrible doctor. This is putting pig's feet onto people's heads or whatever.
Damn, now I wish I wouldn't have cut that one out.
Whatever Dr. Robot ends up doing.
Never mind, I'm cutting out super secret stairs.
Okay.
Final cutout.
Okay. I kind of like Dr. Robot. I feel, and oh God. So I feel like it's, maybe this is incorrect thinking, but after, what is it? Bill's Banana Hammock and Back Alley Kitty, I feel like Muffin on the Backside. I mean, it could be the trilogy of raunchy Beer Me That Movie movies. We could do 3 and then take a break from ridiculous.
How do you take a
sex
break?
Comedies, but that's also my fear as we get on this sex comedy train and it ends in 2026, which maybe it's not a bad thing. Okay, so I don't know what to think about Muffin on the Backside anymore. I like, oh man. And the Madam is well, we'd have to decide if we're going intense or it's Mr. Bean, right, throwing old soup ladles out the window.
Intentional or accidental killer.
Right. Oh my gosh. I don't know about that one yet. Let's say, all right, so crypto culture's gone, super secret stairs is gone. John.
You can kill any of them. They're all dead to me. Well, one of them's gonna have to become alive. But I'm trying to make it easier for you by saying,
shoot,
you can kill them. You can kill any one of them.
Do you have a top 2?
I have like a top 6. I'll tell you what I like. After your revisit, I like Dr. Robot.
I like Dr.
And
Robot
I like Dawn. I love Muffin on the backside.
Me too.
I love that.
Me too.
But you make a fair point that we did just do. Well, Bill's banana hammock wasn't really raunchy. He just had a shrinking penis.
Sure.
Back Alley Kitty was pretty much all about sex in a time loop.
This will just be sex on a golf course.
So this will be sex and sand to get blackmail.
It's just the worst.
I think Muffin would be a lot of fun.
It'll be a lot of fun.
But maybe
her hatching this plan.
Yeah, and her brother taking photos of her.
We have to deal with break a lot of social norms.
But it's also like there's a lot of it's classist. It's like poor people rising up against the rich.
Totally.
That's pretty much it. That's what it is. Using sex. Use what you have, okay? And for Muffin, she's got a muffin on the backside, even though she is Muffin on the backside.
I think what is it? I think it might be between Muffin on the backside and Dr. Robot for me. There we go. I've said it.
Okay. The Madam would have been tough because we didn't know where we wanted to go.
Right.
Dawn Keeper, I love the idea of it, but we've
done a lot of that.
Yeah.
One day we'll do that as that version. We've said that same movie idea a bunch. It's in my subconscious, John. One day we'll have to exercise it.
You've narrowed it down to Dr. Robot or Muffin on the backside of the golf course, and those two are a lot of fun for me.
Oh man, I think the sex comedy trilogy is now kind of more appealing to me. That we fell into by accident, much like Muffin's backside. That might be the one we do. We might have just discovered that. And again, as John said, there's a story here. There's a real story here to Muffin.
True. She's a real person.
She's a real person with real dreams. She just uses the tool she has, that Muffin, to get what would change the world. Oh man, I think we have to tell Muffin's story, John. I think it'd be
you don't have to twist my arm. Dr. Robot would be a lot of fun too, but Muffin is the winner tonight and hopefully next week when she becomes our feature film.
That's right. A back alley kitty on steroids. Muffin on the backside. It's coming to a golf course near you. Holy guacamole. All right. Sweet. Okay, so we did it again. So we're going to get to work on that. For you guys, you'll have to wait a week to see what the heck actually happens to Muffin and how we make this kind of plausible as we need to.
Yeah. If you watch us on YouTube and you wonder why we're wearing the same clothes, it's because Harris and I are literally going to hit record and work on the next episode. That's because life isn't kind enough to give us opportunities to do this all the time. So yeah, a lot of 6 beers plus a bonus one from a user submission. A lot of fun. Anytime these beers could be yours if you just bother Harrison on Instagram.
Yeah, send us messages, send us your beers, however you want. Maybe
also, you made a great meme on our Instagram like last week or something. What was it? Remind me of that because it was freaking great.
The Arrested Development one with the non-alcoholic beers getting yelled out of the room and the Sierra Nevada celebration coming back.
I laughed out loud. It was phenomenal.
Thank you, John. Yeah, we're having fun over there. Follow us on Instagram if you don't yet. Every Monday I try to do some goofy meme and then we post a lot of clips of these shows. So anywho, we have work to do. We're gonna get out of here. You guys hang tight till next week and get excited about Muffin on the backside and try to fit that phrase into conversation. So till then,
peace,
punch,
give me your
muffin. Huzzah! All right. So we get to complete the unknown sex trilogy tonight, John. That makes sense in my brain.
It's a trilogy, so it kind of has to happen.
Right. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, yes, this is it.